Okay, let's look at rounding. It's going to be important that you know how to round to a specific place value when you're working problems in stats. So let's look at the rules for rounding and let's review the place values. So we've given you a table, and you can refer back to this table. I'm going to highlight the decimal point. The decimal point is here, and then you can get your bearings from that. One place to the right of the decimal point is the tenths, and then the hundredths and thousandths, and then on the left, the ones, the tens, the hundreds. Okay, so here's the rule for rounding in this course. If the digit to the right of the place that you're rounding to is 5 or larger, round up. If the digit is 4 or less, don't round up. Just keep that number as it is. Let me show you two examples. If you have 12.392 and you're going to round to the tenths, you would look at the digit to the right. If it's larger than 5 or greater, so it is, in the 5 or greater category, you'll round the 3 up, so it would be 12.4. If instead it had been 12.342, then when I told you to round to the tenths, you would have looked at the 4. The 4 is not in the 5 or larger category. It's in the 4 or less category, so you will not round the 3 up, and that would be 12.3. So that's the difference. So let's work some problems. Round 0.937 to the nearest whole number. Okay, a whole number is the ones place. So we're really rounding to where that 0 is, from the 0.937. So I'm looking at the 9, which is in the tenths place. I'm looking at the 9, and it tells me I need to round up. So when I round up, I round the 0 up to 1, and that's my answer. That's a whole number. There's no decimal part involved in a whole number. Okay, round 6.796 to 2 decimal places. This is another way of saying round to the hundredths. 2 decimal places means 2 places past the decimal. When I do that, I'm going to look at the 6, the last 6 there, and that 6 says round up. Well, the number I'm rounding up is 9. When I round a 9 up, it's a 10. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have a 0, and I'm going to carry a 1. I'm going to add a 1 to the 7 in the tenths place. So it's going to be 6.80, and that's to 2 decimal places. The next one, 2.967 to the nearest tenth. The tenths place would be the 9, so I'm looking at the 6. Again, the 6 says I'm going to round up. When I round that 9 tenths up, it's going to be 1.0, so I'm going to end up with 3.0. Because again, I'm going to round the 9 up, so it's going to be a 0 and then a 1 added to the 2. Okay, round 345,876.024 to the nearest 1,000. The thousands place is right here where the 5 is. I'm looking at the 8. The 8 says round up, so it will be 346,000, and that's rounded to the thousands. Now, round money. Sometimes we have to round money. There's really 2 places you round money to. You round it to the cent, which is really the hundredths place. Or you round it to the nearest dollar, which is the ones place. Okay, so when I round to the nearest cent, let me write this down again. 65.8235. And then I'll write it here again, 65. Let me move those up where you can see them. 65.8235. Okay, so now the first time I'm rounding to the nearest cent. The cents place is in the hundredths place. I'm going to look at the 3. The 3 says do not round up. So it will be $65.82 when I round. The next one says to round to the nearest dollar. That's the ones. Oh, what happened? That's the ones place. That's where the 5 is. And so I'm going to look at the 8. 8 says round up. So I'm going to round it to $66. Now you have some that you need to try. And just check your answers when you're finished after the practice.